All right, the count-out is back. We just finished watching Lockdown 2014, a very good wrestling event. Very good.
I think so
Better
as
than
well.
anything WWE's put out this year so far in terms of pay-per-view. Wouldn't you agree?
I think somebody's new. I thought Elimination Chamber was pretty good.
Yeah, but this is better than the Elimination Chamber. In my personal opinion, this is better than the Elimination Chamber. What do you think?
I think it was good.
All right,
I liked
so let's start off with, you missed a little bit of this opening match because of work, but it was the Great Muta,
Sanda.
Sanda, and Yasu versus Bad Influence and Chris Sabin. The Japanese team, they defeated the American team. It was a good match. It was a very good match. That's all I can really say about that. You know, crowd was alive for it. The crowd, attendance-wise, was It could have been better. I could tell it was pretty empty, but maybe like 2,000 people. Would you say around that?
I'd say maybe more like 2,500.
Yeah.
I like to say 2,500.
I'd like
Be
to.
optimistic and say 3,000.
Yeah.
But I like pushing it.
Yeah, it wasn't the best place to pick. But yeah, this was a very good opening match. I was excited. I was like, all right, you know, this is a lot. Because we were comparing this to the last pay-per-view, which is Bound for Glory. And this is a much better opener than the Ultimate X match. Much better. Maybe because it wasn't as hyped up. Maybe because it wasn't as hyped up as much, this one. But this is a very good match. You know, had some good moves. It wasn't amazing, but it was good.
Then we have Samuel Shaw.
He defeated Mr. Anderson in an escape-only steel cage match. Wrestling, I mean, it wasn't fantastic wrestling, but I mean, I don't think that was the point of this match.
Well, I wanted more brutal for Samuel Shaw. I wanted it to be like this crazy, like.
Well, I'll say one
guy.
thing though, they really had the character. Like, I liked the promo beforehand where he was like on top of the cage and he was saying he was gonna jump if Chris didn't come out. Then Anderson was like talking. I mean, they had a really good.
He's like, you need a few more floors.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good back and forth. Match itself was all right, but it was more the story. Like, Anderson escaped, but then Shaw pulled like Hemi into the ring and had her locked in there. And then like he was stalking her in there, and then Anderson came in.
And then he was able to knock out Anderson.
Yeah, and then he got out of the ring and won the match because the ref was knocked out. I mean, it was good and it played its purpose, and we'll just have to see where the story takes us.
And we had
EC3. He was supposed to go against Angle, but then he just had an open challenge.
Now, before he has his promo, I feel like he's going more like comical than he was before.
Yeah.
Like before, he felt like he's more like, "Hey, I'm the bad," you know, like I am actually.
He's
really
always
good.
been kind of funny, though. He's always been kind of a goofy character. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but it feels like now they made more of a turn. They're more goofy.
I loved the signs though. They were match. You know, it's things like trouble, trouble, trouble. When I put a tweet out that was like hashtag trouble, 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 like I always do every time he comes out of the scene. And I look up at the screen and I see that like in the front row there's like 6 trouble signs just scattered throughout, and I'm like, this is amazing.
These guys all put it together, or one guy made them all and like handed them out.
Yeah, I bet he did, and that definitely made the pay-per-view for me right there. I mean,
But so,
$40 well spent just to see that. No, so I mean, he was like open challenge for anybody on the roster, and then Bobby Lashley came out. And they just had to, like, you know, Bobby Lashley just kind of came out and just beat him up a little bit. I mean,
He
I
did
know
a very big pop.
he did.
He got doing decent, I guess.
No, it was a good pop. I mean, for someone, I mean, he's been kind of like gone from the public eye for a while. At least in my opinion, I haven't heard much about him.
No.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that was cool. I mean, it was. I was never a big fan of Bobby Lashley, but I mean, it was kind of cool to just see him back. It's like, whoa, you know, you didn't expect it. It's very unexpected.
Exactly, but I hate it. I wish they made it a match.
Yeah.
I mean, right here they said. And in a no contest. No, it shouldn't even. It just wasn't a match.
It wasn't.
Wasn't a match. There was no pinfall, nothing like that. It just hit him with the drop move and then a spear, and then he left, and he was like, "Yeah, Bobby Lashley."
So I guess Bobby Lashley is back in TNA, but it served its purpose. I want Ethan Carter to like not get destroyed easily because I think he'll be a future world champion.
I love EC3. I think he's one of my favorite wrestlers right now.
He's very
one of my favorite guys right now.
All right, next up was
Tigre Uno. Tigre
Uno. He defeated Manic in a very, very good match.
I am very upset because I was telling Lucas, I was like, this match didn't feel as special as it should have been. I think the announcers did. I've been getting very annoyed at Taz as an announcer. I don't think they're very as good in to bring like the electricity for the match because that match.
Taz just kind of rambles now. He says like the weirdest thing.
And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I just kind of lost my train of thought." And like
I tweeted multiple times. I'm like, "What the hell is Taz talking about?"
But like this match was so freaking good. These guys were so good with each other. Such good chemistry. They were jumping all over each other. They were very on top of it.
They wrestled similar styles. It was a really good match. It was a great match.
I hope we see more Manic and more of this guy.
Well, they're both. I mean, Mac hopefully is coming back. I mean, I don't think we've seen him since like Bound for Glory, and then this Uno guy. I mean, he's new, so we'll see more from him. Next up was another phenomenal match. It was Gunner. He defeated James Storm in a last man standing match inside the cage.
I was kind of surprised. I was expecting James Storm to win.
Well,
he's
James
lost
Storm
to
had
Gunner.
James Storm had a new theme song, a new look. I really liked it. It was a lot more
He
darker.
looks a lot different from Thursday.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. That was recorded like a month ago, so I mean, things changed, but I don't know. The consistency in TNA is very weird, but this was a really great match. Like there were some awesome moments.
They
like
just got off right away.
One moment that really stood out for me was when Gunner he went for a diving headbutt and then Storm just threw the chair right up at his face. It looked brutal.
It looked awesome.
The finish,
it looked really good.
The finish with Gunner doing like the superplex off the cage onto Storm through like some chairs.
It wasn't off the cage.
Well, I mean, it was like off the top rope, but when it's in the cage, it makes it look like they're a lot higher up. It does. It gives the illusion.
No. No.
But it was a brutal finish. It was a really good match. Definitely told the story they needed to, and it was a great match.
I'm 100% honest, and Lucas knows this. I want more. I wanted the blood. I want Lockdown. This should have been like a bloody match. I know.
Masochist.
But like, but come on, TNA was like really big on that before, and I don't.
But
I'm
I
not
mean,
saying
times have
every
changed.
match.
Times
I'm
have
not
changed,
talking about
Cory.
Ric Flair, where like you slap him and he's like bleeding all over the place.
Cory,
But, like,
I mean, I
matches
understand
like this, rivalries like this, they need to be more brutal.
I do agree that maybe blood would have benefited this, but you have to understand that times have changed in wrestling, and they're starting to like use less and less blood because of like HIV and AIDS being transmitted, like all those diseases. It's about safety, Cory.
I don't think I've ever heard of a wrestler getting AIDS from a match.
Do you know that Desmond Wolf?
Yeah.
He got AIDS or HIV or something. He got some type of disease because of the cutting.
Really?
Maybe not AIDS. I doubt it was AIDS, but it was like something.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to look into this.
I don't remember what it was. It wasn't AIDS though. Then
Okay.
he'd be probably.
I'm not doing too well.
Yeah.
We laugh.
Yeah, Madison Rayne. She defeated Gail Kim in a steel cage match. This was a decent match.
No, this is a great match. I love Gail Kim. She's my favorite knockout. She is probably one of the best women wrestlers out there.
This is a good match, though.
They were great. They had a great. She threw her into the turnbuckle at one point, and when she threw her, she was like, Gail Kim just like, boom, like popped into the side. I was like, whoa.
There's a lot of great
really
moments throughout
sold
this
it.
whole pay-per-view. Like I'm trying to think if there's any others.
This is probably one of my favorite matches of the night.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was a good match. There wasn't any match that was horrible, so I mean that's one thing you need to know. There was not a single bad match.
Unless
don't count
you
the
count
EC3.
EC3 as a
that
match.
was not. That does not count as a
match. But if you don't count it, which you shouldn't, because it really wasn't a freaking match.
The bell never rang, Cory. It was like a segment. Bobby Lashley debuting. It didn't take up too much time, whatever. But yeah, this is a good match. Next up was the world title match, which was Magnus. He defeated Samoa Joe by knockout. This was a pretty good match.
It was better than the steel cage match we saw.
Yeah, I mean, that was a house show.
Well, yeah.
This was still a good. It was a good match. There were some good moments. The ending was kind of weird. Like Joe had him in the clutch,
and then all of a sudden
Abyss like just like tore out some of the ring. He just popped up from under the ring and brought Joe in. Then like a minute passed and everyone was just kind of looking around. Then Joe,
people started screaming, "This is bull!"
Yeah. And then Joe crawled out with like this angry face, looking all tubby,
angry little
chubby
face. The whole match, Lucas is like they're like, oh, someone with big chubby thighs. Like they're like, oh, someone with big thighs. Look at the big chubby thighs. Look at his, he's in the camel clutch. Look at his little chubby little face.
Well, no, I said that with Magnus. They're like, oh yeah, Magnus's long legs. I'm like, yeah, put with the Joe's little chubby legs.
It's totally bashing Joe just because why not?
Well, Joe, I mean, I still don't forgive him for that one match like 3 months ago. It was like 3 months ago. I still don't forgive him. Because I'm a horrible person, that's why. No, but it was yeah, so like he like crawls out and then he's all mad. And then,
Oh, one point in the match, though. Sorry. He like knocks out Joe and all of a sudden Magnus is like, count him.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? But I guess it was by knockout or submission.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense now. But at the moment, we were kind of like confused.
Yeah. But then then like Abyss came in and hit him with Janice. And then, Magnus put him in the clutch and then, knocked him out. He was knocked out. So Magnus retains the title. Abyss is with Magnus. Decent match. Finally, we had the Lethal Lockdown match, which was Team MVP, the Wolves, Willow, and MVP. And they defeated Team Dixie, which was Byrude, the Bromans, and Austin Aries. This was a very good Lethal Lockdown match. Very good Lethal Lockdown match.
It was a good Lethal Lockdown match. I don't say it was very good.
I'd say it was.
It was
good.
good.
It's not great, but it was very good. It was a good main event. Very good. Main
I know. I was
event.
hoping they were gonna have some of their old stuff that they used to do, like the
On top of the cage.
On top of the cage. Get on top of the cage. Do
Well, yeah, I mean, well, one.
Tower of Doom. You know, some
Yeah.
of those things. You know, that's just kind of.
But there were some very cool spots. We'll go over some of them.
No, they
So I mean,
definitely
obviously Jeff Hardy wasn't here, but Willow was. And when Willow came, you know, lights went out. It was all dark. He saw the cameras flashing. He appeared on top of the cage and just did a dive.
And he did his laugh. The only thing I want to say about Willow is I do not like, obviously, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
We all know. I mean, they showed the tattoo. I didn't like that they had that because it's too obvious. And even Taz was like, "Oh, it's very charismatic," and then Mike Tenay is like, "What are you talking about? It's Willow." Like he just didn't get it. He just didn't get it.
Yeah.
But you know, he still did like the Twist of Fate, the Swanton Bomb, and I wanted to be different. I wanted to be this totally different character.
Yeah, but well, let's go over some of the awesome spots in this match. There was some really cool stuff. Willow,
Brainbuster.
Yeah, the Brainbuster on the steel chair from Aries to I believe Richards.
Yeah.
There was a 450. He had Willow in the trash can, and then he did the 450, but just landed straight in the trash can. There was a coast to coast from both of the Wolves on both of the Bromans. They were like tucked in the corner with the what's it called?
Trash can.
Trash can.
That was awesome.
Willow did this flip power bomb to Aries right into the cage. He looked like he was gonna put him up for a power bomb, like a regular one where he just bought him
Onto
up.
the
He flipped
trash
him all the
can,
way
but then he
over.
flipped him over.
And hit him into the cage. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Besides obviously the finish, but is there any other there were some really cool spots. It was a good match.
Yeah, I think those.
Those are most of them. But then Bully Ray was the special weapon. He was the special guest referee for Dixie. He was kind of calling the match down. And then
he wasn't really picking any sides. He just kind of was yelling at
and then
everybody.
Rude had MVP up for the Rude bomb into the table, but then Bully got in his way, and Rude's like, "What are you doing?" And then Bully just socked him, and then MVP did a kick to the face and pinned Rude for the win. So MVP gains control. And Bully, I guess, is a good guy now. And then Bully, at the end of the pay-per-view, just kind of picked Rude up, put him right through the table. Because I remember we saw him. We saw no one went through the table. We're like, oh, no one's going to go through the table. Dang it.
What a terrible pay-per-view.
Yeah, and then he put him through the table. We're like, oh, great. Awesome.
Good pay-per-view. We enjoyed it.
So, I don't know what I'd say match of the night was. I might actually have to go with Gunner and Storm being match of the night. Or the Lethal Lockdown. Or Tigre Uno and
I
Manic.
probably would say
Those three matches are my favorite.
my match was probably Samuel Shaw, Anderson as the worst.
Which is, still a good match.
So, yeah. Then I'd probably go Great Muta. I really didn't watch the match, though. I saw the end, so, I mean, that's why I'm putting it there. I probably put then Magnus and Joe,
Okay.
Lethal Lockdown, Gunner and Storm, Manic and Tigre.
What about the knockouts?
Oh, you're right. Put that right before Gunner and Storm.
Yeah, okay. I would probably be Shaw, Anderson. Well, I don't. It's hard to rank that because that match is just so kind of
Story-wise, it wasn't really mad. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm not going to rank the matches, but overall, I'm going to give this pay-per-view a B+.
Yeah, I think I'll give it.
It was better than Bound for Glory, and TNA's definitely.
No, you know what? You know what? I changed my mind. I was coming in. I was like, yeah, maybe a B-, B+, B. I'm gonna give it A- actually. I actually really liked it. Think about it now. When I think back about it, I'm like, you know what? This is actually a really good pay-per-view. Like, I was disappointed because I'm disappointed TNA doesn't make special stages for their pay-per-views. They don't make it feel special.
They don't have the money.
They just make it feel like it's just a TNA. You know what I mean? Even anything different to make it look different.
They didn't even have any fireworks.
They didn't have any fireworks. They don't have anything to make it feel like this is like our big show. Especially for him, like, I don't know if they're still doing 3 big pay-per-views. I don't think it since they're making
they have
Sacrifice.
next
So I'm
month.
guessing
But
that.
the reason I said maybe not about Sacrifice because Sacrifice is going to be from the small impact zone, so there's like 800 people.
I just personally think they need to make it feel like a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And that's what I think brought me down a little bit on the pay-per-view. But think about it now, think about the matches and all that stuff.
It was
Definitely
a
A-.
great wrestling show. And I hope, the attendance wasn't great, but I think the buy rates are going to be good. Because I heard a lot of people being like, when I was looking on Twitter, they were like, oh, I haven't ordered a TNA pay-per-view in 2 years. I'm going to order this one. Though it looked, really great build. So, it definitely didn't disappoint in, wrestling-wise. It was a good show. And you guys should definitely check it out. Count Out approves.
So we will see you guys all later.
Yeah, and leave your comment down below about what you thought of Lockdown, what you think of TNA, all that good stuff. We'd love to hear it. And be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates and all that. We've been busy with school and work and running and all that good stuff, but at least some of us with running. But, yeah. Just, be sure to follow us and just, check back for more. Thanks for watching, guys.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.